Sources are telling CBS News that federal prosecutors are closing in on a decision about whether to seek an indictment against former FBI Director James Comey, a longtime critic of President Trump. Comey oversaw the investigations into alleged Russian election interference in the 2016 election and into Hillary Clinton's private email server. As you might remember, President Trump fired Comey back in 2017 and has been urging Attorney General Pam Bondi to seek charges against Comey in recent days.
Well, I can't tell you what's going to happen because I don't know. You have very professional people headed up by the Attorney General and Todd Blanche and Lindsay Halligan, who's very smart, good lawyer, very good lawyer. They're going to make a determination. I'm not making that determination. I think I'd be allowed to get involved if I want, but I don't really choose to do so.
And CBS News Justice Department reporter Jake Rosen joins us now to talk about this. Jake, do we know what the administration is looking to charge Comey with here?
Well, until we actually get what the Department of Justice decides to charge him with officially, what it seems to be right now, Nancy, is that it's likely that the Department of Justice could potentially charge former FBI Director Comey with perjury or for lying to Congress for statements that he made in September of 2020 in relation to what the FBI knew and had investigated about President Trump's ties to Russian infiltrators who were trying to influence the 2016 election. As you know, and just mentioned briefly, that investigation in 2015-2016 really set off President Trump's ire against Comey that has not gone away, and statements that Comey has made around the Russian interference efforts in not just the 2016 election, but again back in 2020 as well. And really what the Department of Justice is still doing is weighing on whether they actually do bring this case. They have to get a grand jury to potentially indict him in Virginia, which is where it appears this investigation is taking place. And obviously, given the latest updates of President Trump installing a former personal attorney of his into leadership in an office in Virginia, it certainly signals that the Department of Justice is willing to do some kind of action in the next coming days as a statute of limitation of about 5+ years on this looms, and that would expire and lapse on Tuesday.
Can you talk about what kind of issues the Justice Department could face if they do bring this case?
Well, one, it appears that the person who was in charge before President Trump put in, again, a former White House aide, has never been a prosecutor at local or federal levels, into this position in Virginia, had actually declined to bring this case and to not charge Comey, and said that there was not according to our CBS News reporting, not enough evidence to bring a case. As you know, and we've covered for years here, the Department of Justice brings cases, according to the Justice Department manual, when they believe they have not only just probable cause, can get a grand jury to indict, but when they believe that they can win. That this Trump administration and Trump Department of Justice has had trouble in the last number of weeks, both here in D.C., in Virginia, and other places, of actually securing indictments at the level of which they're charged. And in this case, with such a high-profile thing, perjury charges in front of Congress are very difficult to prove. It appears that President Trump just installed somebody who would be very loyal and potentially revive with this dead investigation and dead case to bring a charge against Comey, as he's pressured Attorney General Pam Bondi to do something and prosecute people who President Trump sees in the way of his agenda, Comey being number one on that list.
We'll see what happens next. Jake Rosen, thank you very much.